After the ball is over, after this game is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello, and welcome to Penhook and Needles Podcast, episode 110. It is July 7th, not July 8th. We are podcasting one day early because we have company coming tomorrow.
I hope we don't look as blurry as I think it looks right now.
Yeah, I hope not. Let us know if we look blurry. Ty's going to try and fix something here. Hopefully it won't be a problem.
Just keep talking.
We want to welcome all new and returning viewers. We thank you all for joining us. If you are returning, we appreciate you coming back. If you are new, we're glad to have you with us. And, yeah, we enjoy spending time with you. So let's welcome our new members. Her name is SueBar60, and her name is Susan. Welcome, Susan. We have Critter Girl, who is Christina. Welcome, Christina. Now, I'm not sure if it's Bibite or Bibite, but it's B-I-B-I-T-E, and her name is Julie. So welcome, Julie, and please let us know how you pronounce your Rab name. I'm sorry if I mangled it. We have Valerie Rog, who is Valerie, and I think that's the lady you were telling me about, the crocheter.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
she
okay,
joined the group,
sweet.
and
I'll have to see if she responded to my message.
She's really sweet. So she's with us.
Okay, I
welcome.
think that might be good.
Welcome, Valerie.
Guys, let me know if this does not work for the lighting. I'm messing with the camera.
And our last new member is Ting Ting, who is Ting Ting, and I love your name, and my daughter loves your name. My older daughter loves your name. And I heard about you, Ting Ting, from Bakery Bears, just like you heard about us from Bakery Bears. I think that's amusing. It makes me laugh. So welcome to all of you. We have 2, 4, 5 new members that have joined the group. And
You can count by 2.
I can't. I just can't count by 10s. Or ones, apparently.
Really quickly before we jump into everything, the music you heard while I was messing with the lighting was After the Ball Is Over by Red Ross. It came from MovieAlley.com from Medio. I guess actually they heard it before I was.
Yes, I was going to say that.
Messing with the lighting.
Anyway, you know what she means.
I am Talia, also known as Francisca Gypsy.
I don't think we introduced ourselves.
Ravelry, Plurk, and Instagram. I'm not really active on Plurk. I'm more active on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico, just about everywhere, unless it's my writing sites, in which case I am known as either Marlisha or Shadowlight. So, yes, we have our 5 new members that have joined us officially, and if you are lurking in the background, we'd love to have you come and join the group, because there's all kinds of neat things that are going on and prizes to be won if you're part of the group. Did you want to go right into the cardiac red?
Let me take a sip of my tea.
Chai tea. Chai tea. I was going to use this cup today. My husband got it for me. I don't know if you can see it. Do you love this? I can't see it. It's not focusing.
I think it has a tendency to focus on faces.
Well, I think that light is still bothering us. You can see it looks like it's many cups.
Let me see if I can adjust the.
I think we need to adjust the curtains because
the thing is, I really like how our faces look right now.
You have a little bit of light across the face. Maybe if we have a little bit of.
Okay, let me see.
I will try to be amusing.
I
need Dan over here. I need Dan over here. Anyway. I think it's that one, Talia. I think it's that one. Nope, not that one either. Okay. In any event,
it's just a luminescent cup.
It's white, and it looks like it's 3. Oh, there, I can do it down here. Okay. So you can see how it looks like it's stacked cups. I was going to drink out of it, but on this side, it's a little bit tilted, and I was afraid I would spill all over everything I have. My husband wanted me to go ahead and drink out of it. And I could. It's pretty deep. It holds about 12 ounces. So I wanted to drink out of it and fool you guys, but I didn't. So, oh well.
Does that affect lighting any?
Not much. A little bit, but not much. I think we're good. I just had to lower it down here like this.
Okay.
Okay.
It was with England.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. This is the podcast where we adjust.
This is the erroneous lighting podcast or something. Errant lighting.
Well, that looks a lot better. Now we look like we have faces.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cal.
Whenever I think of not having faces, there's a Doctor Who episode where people's faces were taken away. It was kind of creepy.
Is that like Legos, where they had the Lego movie where the guy was a good cop, bad cop, and he took away his good face?
No, not quite like that.
I'm relevant.
She's relating to me. Okay. Read along.
Yes, back to business.
Cardiac Read Along will be running July 1st.
It has started.
I'm sorry. It has started. You have to finish your project that is read or has read in it.
And we said, what, about at least like 10 or 15%? So you know there's red in it.
Yeah, so it's obvious there's red in it.
And somebody asked about the color reds, and I said, as long as it's red. I mean, they're saying maroon, and that's fine.
As long as it's red.
It's red, you know.
But it's a cardiac read-along running. The project has to be finished sometime between July 1st and September 30th. They can be started at any point because I know that we all have UFOs and
Take me to your later phone home. Phone home.
I've actually never seen E.T.
It's okay. Yes, I know I'm speaking sacrilege because, heresy and all that, because everybody loves E.T., but it was okay.
Anyway. I had a thought process and she interrupted it. Oh yes. It's a good way to get.
I blame Dan.
It's a good way to get unfinished objects and that you haven't touched in forever, and objects that you have on your needles already finished, as long as they're read.
Right.
Because we all have those projects, but
no.
Oh no, you finish absolutely everything.
Everything. Yes.
Because you're so monogamous.
Monogamous.
Anyhow.
Her fault. She started it.
But the idea is to promote cardiac awareness. We are not doing it during the proper month.
No. Or months.
Or months. It's just when we can fit it in our Cal schedule, quarterly Cal schedule.
And disclaimer.
Disclaimer, I am a health professional, previously was a cardiac nurse, but if you do believe that you are having cardiac symptoms or might be having cardiac symptoms, do not look to this podcast for definite medical advice. Go see your physician. Or go to the ER if you are really concerned about your symptoms.
We're just a public service announcement. This is not to be.
This is not to be taken
medical advice.
As medical advice. This is merely to promote awareness so that you are looking to potential symptoms.
Okay, so you're aware what they are. Now, do you want to go into more of that before we go into what the prizes are?
Let's do prizes first.
Okay.
Because I'm not as strong on the prizes right now because they were, I think, edited when I was asleep.
Yeah, they came to me mostly. We have several prizes, very generous people in our group. I'm so excited. You have seen this before. Sorry for the crinkling. This is from Turbo Knitter 64, who is Kenneth. He donated these before the other Cal was finished, our last one, for the for our prize pot for this Cal, for the cardiac Cal, and it is gorgeous. It's Cascade alpaca lace paints, and this is gorgeous stuff.
It is gorgeous.
It is 437 yards. There's 3 of them. Plenty.
I mean, that's amazing.
A shawl or maybe a small sweater or whatever you want. This, and it's so soft. It really is soft.
Oh, wow,
This is alpaca, baby alpaca, 100%. So you guys are really lucky.
Something really nice and feathery.
Yes, this is gorgeous. And so we thank you, Kenneth, for that. We also will be donating. This is, we have donated from George, who is 10 hours or less.
We have donated from? I don't think that's proper sentence construction.
I do not care.
Would you want to try again? Something that makes more sense.
I do not wish to.
Your wishes have no consequence.
They are of every consequence, and the only consequence. In any event, George has graciously, sorry, we digressed into story.
I think there's a slide.
I don't care. It is of no consequence. Unless it goes into my tea, then it's of every consequence. But be quiet.
You didn't say anything.
Anyway, George, who is 10 hours or less, has graciously donated, very generously, 3 of his patterns, 1 for each of 3 winners. And you all know how wonderful his patterns are. We have knit and crochet from him. So
I feel like I'm luminescent.
Keep talking. 3 patterns from him. And Sarah Jane Designs has once again donated patterns. Also, she has donated 1 of each of her ebook.
How's that?
Cuffed. That's good. The cuffed ebook. I think it's Ligonberry. I don't know how you pronounce that. Her Ligonberry ebook, her Hardware Heaven ebook, and her cuffed ebook. 1 of each of those books. Ebook 2. 1 of yes. Ebook. 1 to each of 3 winners, and then 2 patterns as well. So 5 donations from Sarah. So those are the pattern donations we have, and we also have, as we mentioned last week.
Yes.
We will be sending out.
Where'd mine go?
One winner will get a crochet red book.
The other will get a knit red book.
So we will, try to make sure that if you get the crochet one, that you do crochet, and if you get the knit one, that you do indeed knit. I know there are.
And I would say if you know how to do both, if you win one of them, try to pick up the other one because there's different recipes. Well, obviously different patterns.
And there's different
recipes in the back, so you can get the whole heart healthy recipe.
Right. And if you do sewing, go and get that one too, because I don't sew. Well, everybody who's been a viewer for any length of time knows I have this
unreasoning fear of her sewing
machines. I have two machines.
Yes, but
twin machines.
But she has this unreasoning fear.
I think.
But in the back of the knitting one, they have a bonus pattern to make the mini red dress. That is a reference to something called the Red Dress Campaign. Actually, I'm wearing a shirt that, I don't know why I went fuzzy all of a sudden.
You're not
fuzz. But anyway, this is a shirt that I picked up regarding the Red Dress Campaign. The Red Dress Campaign tries to promote awareness of the fact that not only men can develop heart disease, that actually heart attacks can affect women as well, and that that you have to monitor yourself a little more closely. And actually, let me put some pauses. I didn't want Davina to hear all that. She gets a little nervous and anxious, and I didn't want her to start. She's asked me before, and this goes into autism awareness a little bit. The previous one, she blows things out of proportion. She thinks because she can't concentrate, she's having a stroke.
Right. And I don't want to go into that too much because it's last Cal, and also I don't want you to think that we're making fun of her, but this is something she does.
This is something she seriously. She gets scared very easily.
Very easily, yes.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And it's not just health. I mean, if my husband's late, she thinks horrible things have happened.
Right.
So,
it's one of those blowing out of proportion things, the extremes that comes with autism. I know that's the last Cal, but it is something that we live with daily and does affect the things that we can talk about while she's in the next room.
Right.
Because she will get scared, and she'll think it's something.
And we have to avoid that if we can. So because it's very hard to get her back to a place where she's not
scared.
Upset. So
okay, so we were talking about.
Before you go into that too much, you mentioned the back. I want to make sure that they know the crochet one has the back as well.
Right.
The crochet book also has a bonus pattern, and it is a heart
sachet.
It's a heart sachet, and I don't know the significance except that it's to remind you to stay relaxed and heart healthy, and you put potpourri in it. Potpourri.
I was going to say you never pronounce
potpourri.
Yeah, you pronounce it weird.
Potpourri. That's how it's pronounced.
You pronounce it differently.
It's potpourri. It's French.
You said it differently than that, though.
No. Anyway, that's.
You said it weird.
No, I did not. In fact, she's just.
Anyway.
Yes, that's one of the books. And you have the other one you were saying?
Yes. Red Dress Campaign. It's a whole campaign particularly to point out symptoms for women. To remind us, and this is why another reason why I'm doing a column, because some of the symptoms can be subtle. Tiredness can actually be a symptom for women. Over tiredness. Because for whatever reason, I'm not sure if it's the way our vasculature is, but women don't always get the typical symptoms. And this happens to diabetics too. I guess the upshot is, especially since you aren't going to really care about the clinical aspect of it.
You can do whatever, just don't try and give it to them all at once.
But big upshot is, if you feel like you're having chest pain, if you feel like you're having shortness of breath, if you're feeling extremely tired and you don't have an explanation, at least go to your...
and if you're a man with the traditional symptoms, because I know we have some guys out there.
Yeah, and not all guys get the traditional symptoms. You might be diabetic. You might have an injury in a different part of the heart that does not cause the traditional symptoms. Different symptoms are caused by different areas of the heart being injured. But if you have any idea that something feels off, get it checked out, because...
Better safe than sorry.
It could be something and you do not realize it. And if you don't want to make a trip to ER, I understand, it's expensive. At least go to your primary care physician. Or your urgent care. Because there's a lot of those. And we can talk more about that kind of thing next time. But
okay. I'm sorry, I keep telling Dan. All right, Francisca, just see what's on your needles, because I just watched them.
Anyway, this is not. Let's talk about our favorite podcast.
But I want to. Go ahead. You have 7. I only have 4.
Okay, so.
She takes too long.
I was being polite and listening to you.
You're never polite.
Okay, so let me put this down. I don't want to put it down on the table because this makes noise.
Yeah. With the metal needles.
So the first one I'm going to talk about is the box elder cardigan. Which bag is that in? It's in this one. I think it's this one. Yes. No, it's not. It's in this one. Okay. Sorry, out of frame a sec. I have too many projects.
Never have too many projects.
So the box elder cardigan pattern by Maria Lay. I'm using. There we go. I'm using US 9 and US 7 needles, Dragonfly Fibers Traveler in the Villainous colorway, and the size I'm making is size 36. So, oh, I can frame attached again.
Are you in the middle of the row?
No, I made sure I wasn't. My yarn is all tangled. So, I finally picked up the 300 some stitches that were necessary. And so it's going to look kind of weird because even though I have it on a 50-inch cable, it's still only a 50-inch cable. I had to pick up stitches all along the sweater and along the hood. So,
don't you have a... Oh, you do. So there, okay.
So,
wait, this is looking good.
I'm about to start.
Oh, the color's nice.
I'm about to start the buttonholes. I can't really give you. I can't stretch out the sweater more than it is because there's just simply not enough room on the cable.
Right, and this is cuffed up on the bottom here.
Yeah, it's already cuffed on the bottom.
Okay. Well, I meant that it wasn't showing the bottom because it was cuffed up. Ooh, that turned out nice.
So I had one skein that was slightly different than the others. And I had used it at the bottom of the sweater because I didn't notice the change till I was done. And I had done the cheater's weight of alternating skein, so I just alternated for a few rows and then just switched over to the next skein. Thanks, Stocketed Zombies.
Yes, it's all Megan and Amy's fault.
Actually, I think it was Megan.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Actually, I still really like the suggestion.
Don't forget to
ear burn
her.
I think it's your turn to write the notes for ear burning. But
I do not have anything to write with.
That's right, you never have anything to write with.
There's a method to my madness.
So I used that kind of weird skein to pick up stitches.
Oh, you decided to do that? Good.
For the ribbing. So hopefully it'll tie it into the bottom.
To the ribbing? Or
yeah, ribbing.
This is ribbing?
Yeah, that's what that is. It's ribbing. for the button band.
How's that going to work for ribbing up and down like that?
Well, that's how it always is.
It goes this way.
See, it always.
Oh, I see. It goes this way. It doesn't go. Yeah. Okay.
Because that's what the ribbing is like on this one. So next row will be the button band row. I actually have ordered buttons because I looked at my button box and buttons everywhere, but
not a button to drink.
not a button that I wanted for my sweater. And I placed several buttons on there. I was like, I can't bring myself. I put too much work into this to.
It needs wood.
Yes, it needs wood. I didn't want to compromise on the button. After I put this much work into it.
I mean, look how
I ordered some wooden buttons that are shaped like leaves that I think would be amazing for this. And I have several different colors and sizes. So I need to build up my button collection. If anyone knows of some good online button stores, I would be very much interested.
Mel has a bunch of this. Mel's. Well, you didn't care for it. That's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
I didn't care for it. It wasn't a style that I was.
Your style. You don't have to.
I'm very picky with my buttons. I think that buttons make the sweater, and it just wasn't my style.
Yeah.
And I feel bad saying that, but it just wasn't me.
You shouldn't feel bad. You're not saying that they're not good buttons. You just don't care for the style.
I'm very picky with my buttons. I really feel that buttons make the sweater. I don't mean that I need to go with expensive buttons. These are cheap buttons. But I think they go with what I wanted for the sweater.
Well, they do add character to the sweater, and you have to be careful what you put on them. You put all that work into a sweater. I went all over the place for my blue sweater that I made last year until I found the buttons I wanted. Remember how long it took us to find the buttons? It was very difficult.
But
your next...
that's a green one. I want to do my decrease first.
Oh, she wants to do her decrease first.
But this is my decrease.
I love that yarn. It's so pretty.
But we're not talking about this project.
Well, then you shouldn't have it out and be talking about it as you do it.
The next one that I wish to speak on is Davina's gift. Of course, the one that's farthest from me. Woof.
Woof. The owl bag. The pretty owls.
These aren't owls.
They are so owls.
No, they aren't.
They look like owls.
The shape isn't even owly.
All birds are owls.
These are like your normal backyard birds.
But they're owls.
They're totally not owls.
All birds are owls. Off with their
chest
head.
hair.
Those are so
Seriously, doesn't that look like chest hair?
Curly chest hair. Davina says, I don't like men with chest hair.
Well, Davina tends to like.
She has opinions. She has opinions. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, so Davina's Gift, which is Diana's hat, by Joanna Johnson, using US 4 needles and Cascade Yarns Heritage Paints in the fruit salad colorway. And it's made for Davina. The yarn was gifted to her by Turbo Knitter 64. Kenneth, I did get your message. I just haven't had a chance to respond to it yet. I will later. I haven't been very good about responding to anything on Ravelry. I've been chipping at it a little bit at a time.
I got all caught up and I'm behind again.
But I'm getting there.
I told Emily I'd get back to it. I have it, and I think it's knitting 60. What's her name?
Knitpig 64.
I owe her a letter, email even longer than Emily, and I am going to get to...
Which Emily?
Emily Shanty Dragon.
I thought that was who you were talking about, but there are so many Emilys. It's like Nicole's. They're rampant.
Yes.
Okay, so this got a lot of work. We went to the National Zoo in D.C. on Saturday, and the whole day I knit. I walked and knit. I looked at the animals and I knit. I got quite a bit of progress on this. So I probably look like a crazy person knitting. Because I didn't get as many weird looks as I thought I would. I had one kid who, but it wasn't like a rude stare. He was just kind of like,
Yeah, I took a couple of pictures of her knitting. I haven't put it up on Instagram yet because it's on my camera as opposed to my phone, so I have to email it to myself so I can put it on Instagram.
Yeah, I want those pictures.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was very. It made waiting in line for the animals and the big crowd worth it. Yeah, and also I didn't. There's everyone else in my family was taking pictures. We really didn't need 4 pictures of the same thing. So I could happily knit, get out, see what I want to see, step back, let kids and cameras through, and then knit. It was amazing.
Crocheting doesn't allow itself for that.
So she got a lot done on her hat. Davina was very pleased.
Yeah.
Because she likes seeing me work on her hat.
Yeah, she gets all, are you bringing that in your purse for the car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this got a lot of work.
That looks pretty. I like that.
So I'm very excited about this. It's just a stockinette section. Every once in a while, if I forget to cross off row, it's fine because that's the kind of hat that you kind of want to be a little floppy in the back.
Yeah, she'll like it regardless. I think you have how many more now?
I think it's your turn.
How many more do you have? 5?
20 million.
How many more do you have?
Hang on, 5.
5, okay. I did do some work on my Dragonfly cardigan project. Yay! My Sunday cardigan pattern by Shannon Mullet-Bowlesby. I have to measure it. I had to stop. I did a couple rows or a row and a half or whatever it was that I had to finish up. And I stopped because I need to measure it again. So it hasn't grown a whole lot since you've seen it, but you really haven't seen it in about 3 weeks. So this is where I'm at. I think I'm just about at the waist. So that means I have to decide if I want to do the detailing or not. And regardless, I probably will not put the ribbon in. I'm not a ribbon girl for clothing. But I do want to put in, at the waist, some kind of a little clasp or hook. I don't want to put a button necessarily. I want to put, what are they called? Not a toggle, but
a clasp.
A clasp, yeah. I want to put something like that.
So the toggle is more of that woody kind of thing. You want the metal, medievally kind of.
Probably a burnished silver or something. I have to look at it and see.
I think Knit Picks has some good options for that.
Yeah, I think they do. And I am looking forward to doing more on this as soon as I figure out exactly where I am. Shannon, I think I'm okay on this right now. If I find out that I'm having difficulties, I will definitely drop you a line in all seriousness. Right now I'm okay. Well, I'll drop you a line. I don't want to have you take the impetus. I'll drop you a line if I have questions. I am using a Crochet H hooked and Dragonfly Fibers yarn in the Dragonfly colorway, and it's sock yarn. It's Dragonfly sock. And I really am enjoying the project now that I'm started on it. I had to look at it to make sure I was doing the right thing because I kind of lost my momentum and I had to figure out where I was. But I'm okay with it now, and it's living in my Cloverbird chai tea bag with cocoa beans.
She means coffee bag.
I do not, in fact, mean anything of the sort.
Let's see, so George and Sarah Jane.
And Shannon.
I have Shannon down.
Okay.
Triple
yeah. Do you have Dan and Kay?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have Stephanie Zombies.
Okay.
I'm writing my ear burn list because Mom purposely doesn't bring her stuff with me. She's so unorganized.
I smart.
So unorganized.
I smart. SMRT.
Okay, so the next one I wish to speak on is Josh Amel's baby number 2. It's the Swimming Seashells pattern by 10 Hours or Less George.
10 Hours or Less George?
Who is
Less George?
Yes, he is.
10 Hours or Less George. How do you do that? How do you work that math? They're apples and oranges.
So, by 10 Hours or Less, who is George?
There you go.
Using US 10 and US 9 needles, and the yarn is Caron 1 pound in the Claret colorway, and it's made for Josh and Mel's second baby.
Yes, I think you said that.
It is
not in the bird bag. Yeah. The bigger on the, is that the bigger on the inside?
I call it bigger on the inside.
Yeah. Because you have a couple of TARDIS bags, I'm not sure.
I always call this bigger on the inside because it always seems
it has the universe on the inside.
Yeah. It just always seems so huge when I open it up. Even though it's not any bigger than any of my other large sweater Cloverbird bags, it just feels like it is when I open it up. Okay, so I don't know what's my problem with this particular pattern lately. It's nothing with George. I've already done the pattern repeat before. It's just the second time around. I'll get to the end of the row and I'll be like, my count doesn't match up. And I'll look back at the beginning and I'll have done something extra. Or
she's been tired. It's been a very
or I'll have missed
a
yarn over or something at the beginning. So I have to take the entire row back and start again. I mean, it doesn't take that long, but for some reason, I just keep doing that with this pattern. I'll take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I mean, it's made progress.
Where you're poking your needles.
It's nowhere near you.
Watch where you're poking your needles.
Watch where I'm poking my needles.
I will poke you.
A pen.
This is wet, this was wet, this was wet.
Okay, and now that we're talking about things that we were not really talking about, okay, so this is.
Okay, did you say it was going to be going this way then?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
pattern.
You can.
Oh, there you go.
So it's making progress. It's just like I said. For some reason, either I'm not paying attention when I'm working, or
well, you haven't had a whole lot of sleep over this weekend. Now you've gotten a little more now, but
I've been having a very bad habit of my weekends off, or just in general, to kind of not do well in the sleep area.
She doesn't do what she's supposed to do. When I tell her to get some sleep, she just kind of looks at me and says, "I'm an adult." She doesn't act like an adult, but she's an adult.
There's too many things I want to do that do not involve sleep.
So she just crashes somewhere on the floor, or my couch in my room, or wherever.
But this is thinking some progress. Just
what
not
with
as
the
much.
needles and the.
I said that already.
No,
You just didn't pay attention to me.
Well, you never say anything worth listening to. Stop it.
Uncle?
No.
Uncle?
I do not, in fact, wish
Uncle?
it. No. I will not, in fact. Are you finished with
Yes.
that one? Okay. My next project is the Guileless project from the Guile shawl pattern by Anastasia Zattel. And I did a lot of work on this. I'm almost to the border. In fact, dropped my hook, but I didn't lose it this time. I have it.
We actually lost a hook in her room, and we still haven't
Her
found it.
hook, not mine. She lost her hook. Makes me giggle.
What was it?
What were we talking about again? And I guess I didn't do a whole. It just seems like I did a lot. There's my doohickey. And I've actually done about 8 extra rows because I want to finish the skein of yarn, or get as close to finishing as I can. And I think this is going to block out really well because it's real stretchy. This is...
it's rather firm fabric, though.
Yeah, it is. This is the Shalimar yarn Zoe sock and their Lost Soul, which I believe is like their, pot soakers or whatever you
It's
call
their
them.
one-time.
It's their one-offs. And so I'm almost finished with this particular skein of yarn, and when I get to the point where I can't do another row ending where I'm supposed to end, I will stop and start the border.
It must be hard when they do a pot soaker or something like that, one off, and then they realize they fall in love with the yarn.
Right.
And they try to imitate it.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do that. It would be very hard, I would think. You'd have to kind of, someone like Amanda from No Makers, she has a really good eye for color, and she could probably do it. Most of the people that we've used could probably do it if they really wanted to, Miss Babs and things like that. But
I don't know if Miss Babs does pot soakers.
yeah, that's what her babettes are.
Oh, okay.
I guess her babettes aren't strictly speaking pot soakers.
Because she can repeat them.
But they're one-offs.
Mm-hmm.
She or one time she might have several skeins, but I think her babettes are not reoccurring colorways.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if they're popular enough, she will try to redo them. But in any event, I'm enjoying this. I'm looking forward to starting the border, and I'm using. I don't know if I gave you the hook. I'm using an H hook. I think I did
Yeah, I
give you
wasn't
that
paying
hook.
attention to you.
Yes, I know you never do. So I'm looking forward to finishing this, hopefully soon. It is living in my medium-sized plover bird in the park, animals in the park bag.
Plover bird in the park?
Yes, plover bird in the park. So that's that. And I have, for the skein, I only have this much left, so I don't know how many more repeats I'm going to get on this shawl before I have to go to my other skein of yarn for the border. And the other skein of yarn, in case you forgot, is this. So it's a little bit darker. Okay.
Okay, so the next one I can't show you anyway. That is Iris the Cardinal, which is the female version of my Berry the Cardinal pattern. It will not be a separately released pattern. It's the same pattern. I'm just doing it in different colors, the female colors.
Will you be doing anything to add on to tell how those colors are done, or you just
it's not
eyeball it, or?
It's not really that crucial. It's not that much of a change. But anyway, I am almost done with the head, which is probably the most challenging part. And then it should be clear sailing from there. So got a lot of it done. Got quite a bit done last night, and I can't show it to you because that's kind of a secret project. Not secret.
Well,
but
we don't want to be showing the progress.
I mean,
Show when
I
it's
know
done.
that some designers do, but
Right. Well, that's some designers.
that's not right now. I'm not that. I don't really want to do that. So yeah, you'll see that when it's finished, you'll see Iris come out.
Iris will come out to play when she's finished.
Mm-hmm.
Here, just keep going for just a second. I'm a little bit tangled up here.
Tangled up in blue?
No, in green, actually.
Oops.
I'm just trying to... My yarn is playing, and it's not supposed to be playing. Okay, there
It's
we
not
go.
supposed to be playing.
Not at this particular moment.
If you don't let your yarn play, that's not very nice
Well,
for you.
not when I'm trying to do stuff with it. Let me put this away.
And it's all matchy-matchy.
It is matchy-matchy. Dawn must be proud of me. She knows.
Apparently, Molly Homespun House matchy-matched her birds.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It was
watched her
this
today.
past.
I
Yeah.
watched her.
She even said something about it. Obviously, you didn't pay attention.
No,
to
I
it.
didn't watch I'm behind on her, so I
Oh,
didn't watch
okay.
hers. But I did watch her today. I watched her and I watched a Nightbird, too.
Weren't you supposed to be pulling it cross stitching when you were watching Homespun House?
Well, I was working. They were behind. I do phone calls and emails, so I can have the podcast on in the background, and then if somebody picks up, I just pause it and go right into work. Okay. Your turn?
Nope, I just did Iris.
Okay. My next project is one that was not even on the horizon, so to speak, when I podcasted last time. Talia had started
Something.
knitting.
I have, because I haven't talked about it.
Knitting something, and I wanted to do that because I get a little competitive, and I wanted to be knitting anyway. I got the bug again, but I didn't want to do that, and I blame this on Sampler Girl. Yes, Sampler Girl. That's Tanya Marie, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Also known as BZ Mama on Instagram.
I
Sorry
will-
if you didn't want that passed on.
I blame Sampler Girl. It's a good thing, Tanya. Honest, I don't know if she wants to go by Tanya Marie or by Tanya, but it's a good thing.
Mom, it's Tanya. Remember we had this conversation
I know.
with her. I do
Tanya.
remember that conversation.
You're right. You're right. I've had people spell their names as Tanya for them, but her name is Tanya, so I do apologize.
And I was so right.
For her, yes. No, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Where is my... Oh. Where is it?
Are you having issues?
Where did I put it?
What bag is it in?
I thought it was in that one.
I don't know then.
This is an FO. That's an FO, so that's be in here. Yes, it is, because I'm an idiot. Because it's red. Okay? I am actually knitting, and this is Tanya's fault, Sampler Girl. She mentioned something called the newborn baby blanket. And I think I finally named it on my project page. I did not have a chance to put it on my notes here. I don't remember what I called it. I am 8 rows in. I am knitting. I am proud of myself. I am using the suggested 10.5 US 10.5 needles that are suggested if you knit tightly. They said use 9s or 10.5s. I'm using 10.5s. I'm using Bravo worsted yarn in the red colorway. And I had gotten 10 rows in when I realized about halfway through that I had missed the count. The pattern's not difficult, but I had missed the count, and I probably could have been okay going on, but I didn't want to start off on the wrong foot. So I tinked back, and I did fine tinking back, but when I redid it, I didn't like the way it looked, so I just took it all off and started again. And now I'm on, I think, row 8.
Well, you're going to have to learn to fix things without doing that. Because
Well, I will eventually, but I did tink it back. I just didn't like the way it looked. I did not like the way it
Because you don't want to get like halfway through a sweater or something.
I won't tink back that far.
And then decide,
Yeah.
You're going to take the whole thing out because the row below is off.
But this is going to be my project for the cardiac read along. I'm not going to push myself to finish it. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. I can't win any prizes anyway, so it doesn't matter. I really want to learn to knit better. I want to be less hesitant with my knitting. And I think this will be a good project because it's basically knit and purl. I can do both knit and purl. And it will be good practice if I mess up to do, like I said, tink it back. I did end up taking out because it's only a few rows back. Well, I'll talk about that when I get to my stash enhancements, royalties. But I did about 5 rows today before we podcasted, 4 or 5 rows today. So it's not, it goes pretty fast. I just have to remember to keep my count, and I should be fine. I don't see any problems with it. So that will be a real confidence booster if I can do this. I haven't taken my
It's just knitting, so you can totally do it.
yeah, it's knitting and purling.
It's just knitting. It's knitting. There's nothing hard about knitting.
Well, no, there's nothing hard about knitting. It's the fixing that's the problem.
You got this.
I can knit, I can purl, I can yarn over, I can knit front and back. What's the other thing I can do?
You can do all the necessary skills. As long as you know how to knit and you know how to purl, you can master anything in knitting.
Right. It's just the tinking back that is
and that
hard
just comes through practice.
So I will continue with this.
I have loads of practice taking back. Let me tell you.
This is good for that because it's helping me to see the stitches a little better.
Which is important.
Yeah.
As George's blanket can attest to, I have loads of practice ticking back. I have tinked back on...
How much ticking back did I do on the Setna, and you helped me do on the Setna before I finally tore that out completely? It drove me insane.
I have a hate relationship with the Setna.
The hate?
Yes.
I might try that again with a larger
I
needle.
think that the
yarn.
pattern is cursed.
I think with the yarn I was using,
it's that pattern. That pattern is evil.
I might do it again with larger needles and larger yarn.
Evil pattern, I say. Evil.
But I'm enjoying this so far.
I've tried that pattern twice. I've never been able to complete it. It's not a hard pattern. I've never been able to complete it.
In fact, I finished a shawl that was very similar to it.
It's evil.
That was knitted. But I'm proud of myself. I cast on, really cast on, not chained up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy about that. And it's in my lowest knitting's my bag, medium bag, the Parisian ladies bag. And that's where it's living right now. Okay.
So, let's see the next one I wish to speak upon. I guess I'll speak upon this one. Let me just... Wink. Okay, there we go. So, this is actually a deep hibernation. I started this in December 2012. These are the Christine socks. People who have been with me that long might remember these socks. It's a simple skip socks by Adrienne Koo. Simple skip socks. It's a free pattern. It's a very easy to memorize pattern. And I have detailed on my project page what I do specifically to make it fit me. How many rows I need to do, etc., etc. So it's quite simple. They suggest you use DPNs, and generally I just stick with that suggestion for the pair of socks. It's the only project I use DPNs on. I'm using US 2 DPNs, and the yarn is Wild Hair Fiber Studio in the blue pink colorway. Yeah, it started December 4th, 2012. And I even finished one sock.
And no, it is not the Fish Lips Kids.
No,
what's that called? Fish
Lips Kids Heel.
Yeah.
FLK Heel.
Yeah.
I forget who called it the FLK. I think it was Megan.
That sounds like something Megan would do.
But yes, I finished one sock, and yes, my feet really are that skinny and long. But this pair of socks with this at this gauge with this number of stitches and all that jazz fits me perfectly. So I basically have been sticking with this sock when I do socks. I've done socks 2 other times. I've only done this pattern 1 other time. I always end up getting bored along the leg. Then I get some excitement when I get to the heel flap, heel turn, and gusset. And then I start getting bored again when I get to the foot until I get to the toe. So that's usually the big challenge for me for socks is the boredom in between. Why don't I just do pattern socks? Because there's so many other things I'd rather be working.
And you don't get to see pattern socks. They hide under your pants.
Well, these are good with under scrubs.
Right, no, I'm saying, but this is not a pattern. I mean,
No.
you know, like some of the real pretty patterns, like Laura McMorty does a lot of really pretty limited crochet.
Mm-hmm.
She does a lot of pretty, like, cable-y kind of things. And so
I get the cable ones more because I feel like they
It
can help
actually
hold. I feel like they can hold up your sock better.
Right.
I get that.
Mhm.
I don't quite get the color work ones. And that's fine if people love doing that and they're really pretty.
You need to do cobble wobbles or whatever it is Emily does.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at it. I like this pattern. It works for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a couple of worsted weight ones saved that are cable-y. I like things I know are going to stay up on my foot, on my leg. This stays up on my leg. It's stretchy, but it kind of has got that ribbing that kind of makes it go, which is important. I hate socks that roll down.
Yeah, I like what socks stay up.
And because scrub pants, they always ride up a little bit. It's kind of nice to have pretty socks underneath. Not to mention, these are warm. It gets really cold in the house.
Yeah.
So what I'll probably do after I finish the second sock is immediately cast on another one so I don't lose my sock momentum. So I'm in the gusset right now, moving my way out of the gusset.
So short rows?
Well, there were some short rows in the heel flap, but not right now. There's no short rows. So it's starting to look like a sock. This is the rewarding part of the sock when you start having a heel. I don't like the fit of Afterthought heels. I know a lot of people love the Afterthought heel. I have a pair of socks, my first pair that I did Afterthought heel on. I don't like it. I don't like the way it wears. It's not comfortable. This is comfortable. So at this point, this is the only pair of socks I really make.
Some people are like that. I forget who I was listening to, and she was saying that she only makes, I don't know, was it Heidi from Undid Yarn, or was it somebody else? They were saying that they like to stick to kind of like a vanilla sock.
I remember listening to that.
Yeah,
I can't remember who was saying that.
I don't know, Heidi. I apologize if I am misattributing.
I think it was Heidi, though.
Yeah.
It was.
I like that idea. If I ever find a sock pattern I like, I'll probably stick to it.
Because you always can use that one mindless thing.
Mm-hmm. And you can use pretty yarn for it if it's kind of vanilla socky.
Yeah, well, that's where I use the crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this could have been in a different project, but the pair of socks I finished prior to this, which are like, I think it's someone else is doing something in this yarn, but I think, or did something in this yarn. I think it was Knitting Samurai Plus One podcast. She had done something in the Want to Be a Superhero.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
It's what I call my Spider-Man socks.
Right.
It's red, blue, and black, I think.
A bruise. All you need is purple.
And it was put out by...
you did those socks. Who did that?
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, well, you can look on our project page.
Yeah,
who did it.
But those socks, they stripe, and it's red, blue with a little bit of black. Red, blue with a little bit of black. And I'm probably not saying the order right. But the thing is, and they're also a little sparkly, they were so bright, I couldn't see myself wearing anything else. But with socks, it's fun. And especially under scrubs, it's fun.
Can you imagine doing Davina's black light?
Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be really fun.
But yeah.
By the way, now I can't remember who wrote to me.
Wasn't it Nitpick64?
I think it was Nitpick64 who wrote a really nice little email to me for Davina. Davina was thrilled. You know what you said? You made her day. She was so excited. Thank you for sending that to me. She was just over the moon, and I can't wait to see what you work on. I want to see how those granny squares or whatever it is you decide to work in that yarn, how that comes out. So please post it in the show-off thread. Are you?
I'm done with this. Your turn.
Okay. My next project I can't show you. It is my Bury the Cardinal, and I don't know if I've named it yet or not. But
I thought you were thinking of
I'm
going
calling
with
it Owl.
Owl.
It is Owl the Cardinal.
Because she keeps saying she's working on the owl now.
Yes.
Because she's not obsessed with owls at all. No.
I like
So
him.
this bird has an identity crisis. He believes that he's an owl. She believes that she's an owl.
Owl the Cardinal, and she's living in my Knitting's My Bag sea turtle bag. And I did a fair amount of work on it. Talia went ahead and broke down the pattern a little bit for me. I could have done it myself, but she did it while I was asleep, which I appreciated.
Basically, there's going to be two versions of the pattern release and the patterns release. There'll be the condensed form, where all the instructions are in normal format,
across,
almost paragraph style. And those of you who are already testing the pattern know what I'm saying. Then there's going to be a broken down form that every time there's a semicolon, it'll be a new.
For people like me.
It'll be a new paragraph, because not everyone has the ability to easily comprehend patterns that are all in one block.
It's hard for me to read across in lines and keep it straight sometimes.
And sometimes it can be confusing. So there'll be two forms, the extended version and the normal version. Mm-hmm. Extended version doesn't have any more detail
than
the normal version. It's just in a slightly easier to read fashion. It's more paper. Mm-hmm. So if you read the normal version just fine,
that's the one you want to copy. If you're using a hard copy, you can deal with reading it across, then use that one. But the one that Talia did for me is going to take a few more pages, but it's broken down. It's what I call expanded. Each segment on a different level, so you can see and keep track of what's going on. I got confused. I kept dropping down a line. Mm-hmm. So this was easier. Okay, now, why are we looking at superheroes?
Because my mouse moved.
Okay.
The question is, why are you not looking at superheroes?
Yeah.
Look at superheroes.
There's Nightwing.
Yep. If you really want to think of it, this could be Nightwing in various stages of his life. Because he was Robin. He, of course, is Nightwing. And then, Batman. At one point, he was Batman when Bruce took a hiatus.
Yes.
So,
Nightwing, your nerd fact for the day.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So.
Do you have any more?
Now that I finished this needle, of course I have more.
Well, hurry up.
What a silly question.
Silly girl.
So, pulling my needle a little bit. Okay. The next one is another thing that you have not seen. Actually, this isn't even in the wild. This was something that got started after we podcast. It got started July 1st. Living in the llama bag.
I'm sorry, that llama bag makes me smile.
So, Living in the Llama Bag, he's going to look at you while we're talking, is the Batman Blue project, which is a sedum pattern by Jane Richmond. I'm using US 11 needles, Knit Picks Brava Bulky in the Celestial colorway, size 36. This pattern was gifted to me by Mom. I feel like I've run through these details before, but I didn't start till July 1st, and we didn't podcast.
Are you sure?
Well, unless July 1st was a podcast day.
It was. The 1st and the 8th.
Okay, so I might have run through these
because we're a day early.
That explains it then. I thought I ran through the details. So I cast on and take part in A Nightbird Podcast's July and August Cardigan Cow. So I made some progress. I watched her last night and worked on her on the cardigan. She's going to be doing the Lush, which has not been getting any love from me lately because I'm trying to finish another cardigan. Once I get the green one off the needles, maybe we'll get some more love, but I'm not sure if I really want to be working two blue cardigans at the same time. And after I get one of these blue ones off the needles, I'm going to start another blue one because I want to do that little short sweater for Davina in the tons of blue alpaca I have, baby alpaca I have.
Oh, right.
Because I think that would look cute on her. And she likes short little sweaters.
Yeah, she likes them. They're stylish.
Yes. I think it makes her just look like James West, but that's okay.
She wanted the Artemis Gordon, not James West.
But Artemis doesn't have it going down to here. Jim has the one who has the jacket that stops like right here.
But don't tell her that.
But anyway, this is the progress. I love this color.
That's the color I originally wanted to do my sweater in, the first one I did, but they didn't have it.
So it's starting to take shape a little bit.
That's a good color.
So it's taking shape.
Very nice.
And it's all seat stitch.
What size needles are those?
I think I said 11s. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I actually had to go up a needle size from what was suggested.
To get a gauge.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was good. I can't remember what I did with my gauge swatch because I did something with it. I thought I did something special with it, but I guess I didn't. Oh, I know what I did. I don't normally do this. I started off the gauge swatch with the smaller size, thought it wasn't quite long enough, so then I went up to the larger size.
Right.
Which is not something I normally do, and that's what my...
Looks like a pocket.
Yeah, that's what my little thingy here is for, is to mark where I went to the larger size. Because I was very torn as to whether or not I wanted to go up a size. But
Up a needle size or up a sweater size?
Up a needle size.
Okay.
Oh no, I knew I didn't want to go up a sweater size. Although, actually I did think about that, but no, it was fine.
Okay, what else?
Is that all you have?
Okay, I only have 4.
Okay. So, the final one also actually was not started before last podcast, because I started this July 2nd. This is pulling deep into the old bags.
I love that
This
bag.
is an early for me, Lois bag. She's changed her bag since, but this is the British.
I love that material.
I think she calls this the Tower of London.
I don't know what you call it.
I can't remember what she
I
calls
need to see if she still has it. I love it.
But this is the Eastwood. It used to be the poncho, the crocheted poncho, that was going to be like the one Good, Bad, and Ugly. I finally had a moment of honesty with myself, talked to myself, and I was like, yeah, self, you're not going to complete this. So...
And did you answer yourself?
I did. And after a brief but not very spirited argument, self gave in to myself. And I ended up deciding that the poncho was not going to continue, but I would use the yarn for the Eastwood, which is what I'm calling this project. And it is the Cabled Afghan Cow by Eddie Ekman. She has created a project page for it now on Ravelry. A pattern page for it now on Ravelry, so I can do a project page.
I think that's Edie, isn't it?
Edie. What did I say?
Eddie.
Oh, sorry, Edie. And it is produced by Creative Bug and Red Heart Yarns. They're doing the cow. It's a free cow. All you have to do is sign up at Creative Yarns. It's free. You'll get some emails to your boxes, but not a big deal. And every week they update a square. Mm-hmm. They started with the garter square. I should be getting a new square tomorrow. It's a garter square and cabled square Afghan.
Yeah. And this is the one that I didn't mention that I was going to do that, and I am getting those updates, but I decided to do the baby blanket first.
And you can kind of, well, that's not really good.
I decided to put my competitiveness aside, do something that I wanted to do.
Yes, this is the pattern. I'm not really using the pattern right now. Let me look up I should have.
What do you need?
I want to show them what it looks like, because it is absolutely gorgeous.
It is a pretty pattern.
And it's free, which is my favorite price.
Yes, free is a very good price.
But, let's see. It should come up on my Ravelry. Okay, Ravelry.com. So while that's coming up, I'll show you my progress so far on the garter square. So, okay. This is...
That's your second one or your third one?
This is my third one, and I'll show you the other two as soon as it's done. As soon as I'm done. But, yep, it's very simple. It's worked on the bias.
So that's like that Granny's favorite dishcloth kind of thing?
I've never done Granny's favorite dishcloth.
Because I think that's what they said, that goes side to side.
But now I'm pulling up the pattern page. So, Eastwood. But it's kind of like a mystery cow because...
Except that
I know what it looks like, I just don't have the directions until the next Tuesday. There we go. So this is...
Yeah, that's pretty. So your color's not that far off. Yours is a little more green, but...
Isn't that gorgeous?
I don't know if they can see it real well, but
Oh, you probably can't.
try pulling it back a little. There, now you can see it. Some of the cables.
You can see some of the cables. It's a different cable for each square, different kind of cable. It goes from easiest to hardest, and you have a total of 10 cabled squares and 10 garter squares. So I've been trying to knock out some of my garter squares.
Because she said average lasts like two a week, or.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if I get some of my garter squares done, then there's not as much of a rush when I get the cables. Oops.
Okay then.
Sorry, that was the show notes falling.
She shook the table.
Earthquake!
She wants to give you, what is it? Not vertigo, motion sickness.
So,
Okay.
this is going right into finished objects because this deals with this project.
Okay.
It's square
Oh, that's nice.
number 1.
And this will felt.
Yes, it will. And because when I got it, I intended it to felt. And I might have to block it, but I don't particularly want to.
You want to do it too hard, though.
No, it's just that the edges are kind of being weird. So that's square number 1, which surprisingly doesn't look that much different than square number 2. I don't know why it's acting so weird.
Pretty sure you had it in the bag and it didn't want to be in the bag.
Yeah.
There you go.
So.
Because it's a very
It seems to have good memory.
Yeah, it does, but it's a very not rough, but not even scratchy. I don't know how. It feels like a natural, almost like it reminds me of hay.
It's actually got a lot of, like, I'll find straw and stuff in it.
Right, veggie matter.
It's got a lot of veggie matter in it.
It makes me think of hay when I touch it. I mean, it's not that it's rough. It just that's the general feel it gives me.
And I might at some point repeat this
Or
pattern.
burlap.
I might repeat this pattern at some point with a different yarn.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a lot of this yarn. I need to use it up.
I wonder how much it'll shrink if you felt it as a felted blanket.
A lot, probably. I'm not going to felt it.
Well, you don't want to felt the cables.
Yeah, that would completely ruin the effect. So I'll probably end up blocking these, even though I don't particularly want to.
How many FOs do you have?
That was it.
Okay, I have 2 FOs. My first one you saw before. It's in my Cloverbird little sheepy bag. Okay, and it is the dish towel. I'm going to give it to Talia when we're done. So I finished it, so I don't have to look at it anymore. I'm not really happy with some of the sides where I did the color changes, but it'll do. She's just going to use it for her face, or whatever she's going to use it for. But I like the way it turned out otherwise. It's nice, soft. It's an I Love This Cotton, which is really soft, as we have said multiple times. And I'm glad to be done with it. Here.
Thank you.
Take it. Yeah, I have a bunch of cotton left that I will use later for something else, so that's my first one. My second finished object, I can go right in?
Yeah, because I don't have any finished objects besides those 2 squares.
My second finished object wasn't even on the hook until we went to the zoo. It was my zoo project. And
she didn't work on it at the zoo, she worked on it in the car.
In the car, both ways. And it's called the Mist of Time Cowl, which is from the Cerebelle scarf pattern. And I've done this scarf twice before. And this time I only had 1 skein of Knit Picks yarn, Knit Picks Bravo worsted. It's in the Heather Dove colorway, or Dove Heather colorway. And it was a little too short for my liking, so I made it a cowl. And this is what it looks like.
Oh, that's actually showing the detail really well.
Okay. So you can wear it. I didn't think it would go around twice, and Tally's like, yes, Mom, it will. So I will show you what it looks like.
Because after all, I don't know anything. She's like, no, it won't. I'm like, yeah, it will.
Let's see if I can remember how I did this to get it on. It's going to be persnickety. How did I do that?
You just put it on, and then you...
No, it wouldn't go over my head.
Yeah, it did. I watched you do it.
Okay, all right. Well, let me just get the seam so it's not on the outside.
If you can even find the seam.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you can wear it. It's a little warm to be wearing this. You can wear it down like this. I'm not sure who's getting this, or if I'm keeping it or what, but you can wear it longer, just however you want to. Put a little pin or whatever. Or you can wear it like this.
weird. I
It's
know
really
what I'm
nice size.
talking about.
I don't know how that happened. Don't let it go to your head. So that's, I'm really happy with it. I love this
It
pattern.
turned out really cute.
I love this pattern. I've done, like I said, I've done it 3 times. The other
But
2
Dad, it
times,
almost looks like an ascot.
I guess.
I personally think that the cows do look like that when they're doubled up.
I like it.
I think it's cute.
It's very cozy and it's very soft because Bravo worsted tends to be soft, but I need to get this off because it's hot in here.
It is?
I'm a little warm, but not. It's a nice size. I think it's. I've come to the conclusion that I like cowls better than scarves because I don't have to worry about them falling off. But it's funny. This is what I had left from the skein. That's all I had left after I seamed it up. And it makes me laugh.
It is.
It makes me happy. I used the whole skein. So that was good for Stash Dash, even. And it's living in my Brightcraft M&M's bag. I need to fix the string on here, but and I would do this project again in a heartbeat, either as a cowl or another scarf. I love doing it. It's very easy. I didn't even look at the pattern after the first couple of rows because I can't read in the car anymore without getting kind of nauseous. It was a perfect pattern to work in the car. I worked the whole trip up. It's about an hour to our
Just pretend it's not going
yeah,
on.
unless it's Daddy, I'm not going to answer it. It's about an hour to the zoo and then an hour back. So, and they said it's a 2-hour project, and I had to do maybe a little bit when I got home to steam it up and stuff.
Virginia called?
Virginia called.
Let me put us on pause a second. Well, that was nothing important.
No, they didn't leave a message. So, but anyway, it just makes me giggle that I had this much left, and I will put it back in its Brightcraft M&M bag. That is all I have on my FOs.
Oh, and I have graphic novel.
Yes, I was going to do some of that, didn't get around to it.
So that's what you're supposed to do during homespun house.
I was working during Homespun House. I can't work and cross stitch and watch or listen to podcasts.
So let me put down my DPN. What did I do with my car? Oh, that's right. I moved it because you made me stuff off the table. I worked a little bit on both of them. Not a ton of progress. I mean, you can barely see the progress on Elsa and Anna. I think that I did there a little bit, and then I added a little bit in there. So it's very slight. Just enough to say I did it. Yay. And then I did some here, that green leafy thing leading into what will become flower is new. And so is that little green leading into, flower there, the stem there. So green is new.
Cool. Okay. So that leads us into what?
That leads us into royalties.
No. First of all,
There's nothing else?
Okay, yeah, autobiographies later. Okay, go ahead.
I only have the bags and the yarn.
Bags? Oh, those
Notions
bags.
pouches.
Okay. I had the DVDs, but I'm going to show them all together in a magazine. So what do you want to do?
Go ahead with DVDs and I'll show the Notions pouches together.
Okay. My husband and my daughters gave me some Amazon cards that I put toward my husband's birthday gift. So I now have money to spend. They were gifts for Mother's Day and something else. And so I am spending them a little at a time, the money that I have in the account. Also some anniversary money for my parents because we had our anniversary last month. So I got these DVDs.
It was actually last podcast.
Yeah, I think you're right, the 25th of June. So I got an Interweave Crochet 2009 CD collection.
So maybe it's the podcast.
The magazine?
I think it was the podcast before last.
I got the Design Your Own Crochet Baby Sweater. This is from Crochet Me, which is part of, I guess, Interweave Crochet. It's Design Your Own Crochet Baby Sweater. Crochet Finishing.
Bang, bam.
Yeah, sorry. Crochet Finishing Techniques. This actually talks about the equivalent of steeking for crochet.
Which I'm not quite sure how that works.
I'm not either. It scares the heck out of me. but I'm not adverse to making squares and cutting them and doing that. This one looks like fun. This is 3D crochet, amigurumi, accessories, and cutest creatures. And this is also, from what I understand, helping you to determine how to create your own stuffies, which Ty has already done. But I like to go through the proper channels. She just dives in. And then Tunisian crochet. So those are the DVDs I got. I have a couple more that I'd like to get. But I'm pretty sure that this is just about all I'm going to be getting in the DVD department, unless they come up with something that I haven't thought about. Okay, so go ahead.
So I picked up more Notions pouches because I have Notions that are living in Ziploc bags. So we didn't have more Batman, so got a Superman one. Kind of spreading out my having some more, having a lot of Justice League. There's that. So that's Superman. I didn't realize that Hawkman was on the other side, but Flash, probably Barry Allen Flash based on the artwork.
Yeah.
And then, nah.
I didn't like the way they showed Hawkman in the last one we saw. He actually looked like an animal. It wasn't a mask. It was actually like a hawk face. And it,
Oh no, that's not the way. He's never been that way.
yeah, I don't understand that. It was really weird.
That is weird because that's not
canon.
That's not canon.
Yeah.
He never looked like that. Even if you go with the idea that he's Senegarian.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not.
And that was really strange. Unless they made his mask a full mask instead, so you couldn't see his chin. Maybe it was a full mask.
But that's not traditional either.
I know it's not, but that's what they, you know.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is. It was, I didn't like it. I don't like Hawkman anyway, but.
I don't either. But hey, you gotta like any guy who has arguments with Green Arrow.
Well, everybody has arguments with Green Arrow.
True. Ollie kind of excels at that.
Yes, he does. He annoys everybody.
Yes, he does. But there's the Flash side, which is the more interesting side, then.
Now, I do like
Hawk Girl. Shiera Hawk Girl. There's a couple different
Shiera Hawk Girl.
I'm not sure if something happened to Shiera in the comments. I'm not very up to date on my Hawkman, Hawk Girl genre. And then this one is actually the way they cut the fabric was weird because like Clark's face is cut in half. You have his eyes and then you have his nose.
That's funny.
It was just kind of weird, like right there. Okay, it's a really good picture of his eyes. And that would have actually been a really good picture to have in the center of the bag. But there's his nose. So it's really odd the way they chose to cut the fabric. I would have chosen to have that in the center.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't sew bags.
She might not have had enough fabric to do it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just really weird the way they chose to cut it. So that's my weirdly cut Clark Kent bag.
Okay.
These are Notions pouches. It's not like they're going on display anywhere.
Right. Okay. My last one that I want to show you all is my Interweave Crochet magazine, and I don't know where I picked this up. I think I actually bought this through.
That wasn't what you got through Jake.
Through what?
That's not what you got through Jake.
Through Jake?
When he was doing his sales for magazines and stuff. That's not what you got through him.
No, this is oh, here it is. Here's the thing.
You picked it up somewhere.
I think this is also from Crochet Me, because they were doing, you know, you could get back issues. And I got it partially for this sweater right here. I can't really see it. Let me see if I can find a better picture. This has some really nice sweaters in it. It doesn't have a year on it that I can see, but I know it's not now because it's winter, February. Oh, it's 2013.
Well, it's not that old.
So it's not super old, but it's not this year's. This is a cute hat. I don't like the detailing on the side, but I do like it.
You're kind of running long, Mom. So.
Well, you know what? We're always running long, and I always get cut off.
Okay.
So
I just want to let you know so you didn't get, too into the extra patterns. You just found what you were looking for.
Okay. Let me just see if I can find what I'm looking for.
Because otherwise you'll run through every pattern and we'll go 2 hours.
I will not, in fact. I'm going to start off with my This sweater was in another magazine. I don't mean to go to everyone, but it was in the cardigan was in another one. And it looks like they're showing us how to make the pullover of that same sweater. So that's kind of cool. Let me just find the one I was looking for, and I can let you go because I don't want it to be too long. There's a lot of really cute sweaters.
There's a lot of cute sweaters in there.
This is the one I was talking about. I really like this. I like the drop cowl neck like that, and I like the elbow length sleeves. So you can get some really good deals on Crochet Me if you crochet, and
this particular magazine has some amazing crocheted sweaters.
It does, this particular issue. It's a very, very nice, oh, that's kind of pretty. It's a very nice issue. It's got a lot of sweaters that I like in here. It has this thing like they do for the socks for mittens, which I think is really cool. But I'm not going to go into this anymore because I do not want it to go much longer. And I'm just going to start with my stash enhancements next time because I know I'm always rushed. I'm always rushed. Or I'm going to do stash enhancements first, and you can rush.
That's not a problem.
Good.
Because I didn't go that long with my stash enhancement.
Because you only had a little bit.
I never have that much.
That's not a fact true.
And
that is
I
not
rarely
in
have
fact
it.
True.
Every week she has stash enhancement we have to push back.
Yeah, but that's why I get these big piles because she goes through page by page by page, and then I wait till the next week. So I get something else, so my stack goes up like this, and then she's like, you have a million stash enhancements. Gee, I wonder why.
I don't go through page by page.
Yes, you do.
I don't have the magazine.
Yes, you do.
Where?
Not this time, but you have.
Okay, so,
Yoink.
This is... Careful, don't poke me while I'm holding out your wrist. I could hurt you.
Yes, I know you could.
By accident.
Like you did last time.
This is, I want to eventually make for myself another one of those Diana hats. And this is Firefly yarn from the Wild Hair Fiber Studio.
That's the one I was telling you about that I saw. That I didn't want to buy.
So I looked for it. Like I said, it's Firefly.
It's pretty. I like it.
It's gorgeous. It's my colors. So when I'm finished with the Venus hat, I'll have to cast this one on.
As a Diana hat?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't take up much of the yarn, actually.
How much yardage is in that one?
460 yards.
Yeah.
So maybe even when I'm finished with the hat, I might still be able to make a pair of socks or something out of it.
Maybe some mitts to go with it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't like fingering weight mitts necessarily.
Yeah, yeah.
I have my my go-to mitt pattern. It's worsted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all for stash enhancements for me. Autobiography.
Okay, I don't have a whole lot.
Oh, do you want to thank yous first?
We can.
I guess autobiography.
I didn't do very much at all. I was very busy this weekend and this week, and things were topsy-turvy. I only wrote about less than 100 words to a 500 Club picture, so really nothing much to speak of. But do you have anything like that? You worked on?
I worked on the shared story, and I also, I put that in the wrong place in my show notes. Okay, and I also blame Knitting Samurai, the Knitting Samurai Plus One podcast. She was mentioning how while knitting she's been on listening to audiobooks, which a lot of people do, and I've tried it, it's not really my thing. But she mentioned that she was doing the great courses. I went and looked, and they have a sale going on for July, for the 4th. I kind of might have fallen down.
Kind of, minus, sort of?
It's a little expensive, so you really don't want to pick up stuff unless there's a sale or unless you kind of put aside for it. Especially if you get the format that I got. I got the video format because for me that's an easier way to learn because I'm an audio-visual learner. I like the history podcasts that are audio, but if I have a choice of video, I'll go video. And I'm currently listening to the Ancient Egypt class.
That's cool.
Which is really cool. It's always been an interest of mine. So I've been learning little tidbits here and there. I just finished with the Napoleonic invasion / study of Egypt. So I already knew about that particular era in history, but it was nice to run through that again. and it should be headed pretty soon back into stuff that's a little newer to me. I have smatterings of knowledge all over in Egyptian history, but none of it's really cohesive, because I've done a lot of self-guided Egyptian study. I have a ton of Egyptian history books down in the basement, because I got started by Stargate SG-1 and Mummy, which are both historically terribly inaccurate.
Right.
But that's okay. Well, Stargate's not as bad because it's not trying to claim historical accuracy.
Neither is Mummy. It's not claiming
Mummy just puts things at the wrong time.
But it doesn't claim that it's accurate.
I know, but it claims that
it's not supposed to be accurate.
Imhotep and Inox and Amun were at the same time period. They're at least a couple of generations, a couple hundred years apart.
They're not claiming. It's a fantasy.
I mean, Imhotep's like 3rd dynasty, and Inox and Amun is near to King Tut's period of time. So several dynasties apart. But anyway, I still love the Mummy movies, even though they're terribly inaccurate.
I don't watch them for their historical.
No, of course not. But they were a jumping off point for making me want to look into more.
We're a very history-oriented family.
Yeah, the other one I'm interested in, they had a sale on the World War II.
Right.
It was something about Hitler's army or something like that. I can't remember. It was interesting. I snagged that because it was on sale. It was quite a bit off.
I'd like to get one on the Revolutionary War.
The one I want to get eventually, the Revolutionary War one is actually free.
Really?
It was free because it was audio.
It
was for the 4th. Yeah. The one I want to eventually pick up, and I have to save up to get to that point, is I want to pick up the one on medieval daily life.
Yes,
they have several on the daily life, and as writers, that's really perfect.
Because we write fantasy, so that's usually the era we set it in.
At least medieval. It gives you fodder to work with.
Yeah.
But we're running long, so I need to stop.
Yes, you do.
Thank yous.
Oh, we have thank yous, yes. Okay, we want to thank Turbo Knitter 64 for the 3 skeins of Cascade lace weight yarn for our Cardiac Along Cal. Sarah Jane Designs for the 5 patterns, 3 of which are ebooks, and 2 of which are patterns. And 10 hours or less for the 3 patterns that he also donated. The patterns are 1 pattern or ebook for each winner. Okay, so we have a total, I think, and then of course we have our other books. We have like a total of, 10 or 11 prizes?
Something like that.
It's awesome. Before I forget, to those people who gave us our addresses, I think we finally have the addresses, all the addresses.
I think we might.
From the last Cal. Wait. We are we only have, we don't have enough envelopes. We have to go get more envelopes, so it might take us just a little bit longer to get to the post office.
And one person, I think it was Grandma Kay, who won through the Equal Opportunity Crafter podcast. I will be getting your pattern to you. I just had to go through an alternative seller. Yes, and I know who you.
Yes.
And Rose Bob. Thank you very much for the bag. I did not anticipate you giving it to me.
Rose Bob won the medium Ploverbird bag, and the Dr. Seuss bag.
Yes.
And she was very sweet. She said Taya's face lit up, and she gave it to her. So it was very nice. Thank you, Rose. It was very sweet.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so that's all, folks. That's all, folks. Okay, so we hope that you have a wonderful week of knitting, crocheting, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, and that you stay cool if you are in our part of the world, warmer if you are in the wintertime in Australia or wherever it is that it's wintertime. And this is Pen, Hook, and Needles, episode 110, and that's a wrap.